What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So in case you missed my quick shorts yesterday night during the draft and following the draft as well for Duke players, Laker players, and all that good stuff, Derek Lively, a Duke, the center, was selected at number 12 overall, which was Oklahoma City's, but it was traded to Dallas, That's going to be a pretty good situation for him. Definitely going to be even more excited to watch one of my favorite NBA players, Luka Doncic, play next season as well, alongside a Duke Blue Devil, and maybe another one in case Kyrie does end up re-signing there or not. You never know, but yeah, overall, it's going to be a pretty good situation for him, I believe, going in his NBA future. And then Dariq Whitehead, another really good player from Duke, talented dude, was selected at number 22 overall, I believe, to the Brooklyn Nets. They had a couple back-to-back picks right there, and yeah, they even know about his injury situation and just recently had surgery, but will be ready by fall camp and all that good stuff. So he's definitely a nice piece that they're going to have in their future, especially if they don't try to rush him back right away as well. Let him heal up fully, and then, they could get a really talented player because he was a second-rated player coming out of high school right behind Derek Lively. So he could definitely be a really nice steal for them later in that first round last night. And then quickly, of course, I got this news the last time. I didn't even mention in my last video too before this, but yes, Tyus Jones was recently in a 3-team trade involving Memphis, the Celtics, and Washington. He ended up going to Washington, which seems like it's going to be a nice fit for him. He was going to have Chris Paul as a teammate, but it looks like they already traded him to the Warriors, and that's going to be for Jordan Poole, who's a young guy with the Warriors. So it's going to be most likely Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole running the team out there in Washington. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And even before this, it kind of seemed like there were rumors that Tyus Jones wanted to have his own starting team and being able to start as well instead of always trying to back up Ja Morant. But even Morant is going to be suspended the first 20-something games. He still wanted a chance to be able to start in the league anyway, so that's going to be a nice situation for him. Definitely looking forward to that. And then at least one USC player did make it on a roster that I did see, but it was when he went undrafted. He did not get drafted last night, but he did sign with the Miami Heat on a nice, I want to say it was an Exhibit 10 deal, so he's not officially guaranteed. It's for 1 year. Supposedly he could be on the G League team and all that stuff, but he does have an opportunity to be able to get a 2-way contract or a fully guaranteed contract as well for a year or two. So he's going to work out at that. Kind of a little bit surprised just because Miami usually doesn't like to take guys with injury histories, and Peterson, even while at USC, did have a couple nagging injuries here and there. But either way, they saw the talent. They even picked a UCLA guy, so they got 2 rivals selected on their team from this draft, which is pretty crazy. But overall, it's a nice pickup for these guys coming out of college from my teams. And of course, the draft was last night, so the Lakers had a couple picks as well. They didn't end up trading or getting more picks either. They did trade up, as I mentioned in the video yesterday, in the second round, 7 spots. They had to pay $4 million for that. But yeah, either way, they still got a pretty good player, in my opinion. They ended up at number 17 in the first round, though, going with Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's out of Indiana, the Indiana Hoosiers. And I didn't really get to see him play that much. Didn't really watch that much of Indiana, but he definitely did look like a solid player after watching all these highlights. And I think he was named the Rookie of the Year for the Big Ten Conference, so it's obvious that he was pretty talented in his first year there. He's a one-and-done player, so he's only a freshman in college, and I think he's only just barely turned 20 years old. So to have a guy that young and with that much upside, and obviously says he has the Mamba mentality, was definitely thought of Kobe as one of his idols, so that's always a good thing as well. And he wasn't just all talk. They definitely saw it in his workouts as well that he had with the Lakers, so that's pretty good. Overall news for a guy who is your first round pick. You never know officially if he is going to end up sticking around for that long in case a trade ends up happening at some point in the summer or right before the season starts, or even during the season as well, because he is a pretty interesting piece with a lot of high upside to go if he ends up getting traded and on a nice rookie deal. But either way, definitely very excited to see him play in the Summer League. Hopefully he does get that chance the next couple of weeks or so in Vegas. And then at number 40, ended up going with a player out of Pepperdine in Maxwell Lewis, who kind of looks like a couple guys with the Pelicans and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, kind of like that mold of a 6'8" to 6'9" type of athletic player on offense. Those guys are better on defense, in my opinion, than he is, but because he has that athleticism and twitchiness and all that quickness added in together, I think he has the opportunity to be the type of version of that player, and those guys are really good too, as I mentioned. So Lakers are definitely, aren't going to be able to trade for a player like that, so they had to draft one, and it's not a reach because both of these guys were projected to go a little bit even before where the Lakers were picking, so these are still good value picks in a lot of people's opinions when they're grading the draft grades for the Lakers as well. So they definitely did pretty good, and especially they did really good even after the draft, signing a couple two-way players, a couple contracts to that, and one Exhibit 10 contract as well. So the guys who were on two-way contracts is a center out of Florida, let me get his name correct, Colin Castleton, and a Missouri guard, Demoy, I believe that's how you say that name, Hodge. So Demoy Hodge. So two SEC guys going at it. Hodge looks like he's pretty athletic guard type of 3-and-D slasher, so we'll see if he can end up making the team. Castleton, looks like he's kind of like a mini version of a Pau Gasol, a little bit, I guess, more athletic than a Pau Gasol, but still with the ability to shoot from the mid-range, even maybe from the three-point line as well, and has some good post moves. Kind of surprised that since Drew, I don't remember if Drew Timme did get drafted or not, or even that other guy from Arizona, Azuolas Tubelis, but those guys look pretty similar in my opinion, and maybe a bit more athletic than this guy, but apparently the Lakers staff liked this player out of Florida, so I guess we'll trust them. And they ended up getting another player out of Florida who was a forward, and Alex Fudge. He's on an Exhibit 10-day it's not a 10-day contract, it's just an Exhibit 10, so you do have the opportunity to get into the two-way. I'm assuming if the Lakers gave these two young guys two-way contracts before this guy, then it might believe that Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to be off the team, at least not on a two-way deal. He'll probably have a chance to make it and stay on the G League team, but I don't think he's going to have a chance to try to make the roster as of right now, because I think they still have Cole Swider, the other 6'9", like three-point shooter from Syracuse, still on a two-way deal. I think you could keep 3 young players on two-way deals, so that's 3. Looks like Scottie Pippen Jr.'s on his way out. Could probably sign with anybody else, and they're bringing in this guy Alec Fudge, who looked pretty interesting, pretty athletic as well. He definitely showed he's more of like a 3-and-D more than Hodge, in my opinion, because Hodge can kind of fill it up too offensively, but Fudge has that height as well, the 6'9" to 6'10" almost, and ability to block a lot of shots and help you out with alley-oops as well on the offensive side. So definitely some pretty interesting guys, and overall for a Lakers draft, it's kind of like, okay, they kind of did something to where like a team that, say, would have just won the championship or would have just been playing for the NBA championship did, where they kind of improved their overall depth instead of just trying to get, a big-time splash player, because there was a player that I kept mentioning in those last night videos, Cam Whitmore, who for some reason was projected top 4 overall pick and kept sliding all the way down to like 20-something, I believe. I forget where he got drafted, but yeah, overall, it's pretty interesting the way they went. It kind of seems like they're preparing for the future, as if they're losing not only LeBron, but maybe Anthony Davis too in the future. You never know. But either way, I don't mind a rebuild as long as it goes a lot quicker than the last one did before LeBron showed up, because that was like a 5-year, something like that, right after Kobe. It seemed like it took forever. But either way, looking forward to the future with all these players, hopefully on the Lakers roster at some point in the near future. So the Dodgers are holding, they kind of released a schedule of when they're doing certain giveaways and stuff in the near future. And I believe on August 10th against the Colorado Rockies, they're going to have a bobblehead night for the USC quarterback, Caleb Williams, which is pretty cool because it usually doesn't happen to where they give out bobbleheads of players that are still in college. Maybe they were once in college and are in the professionals right now, but that's just how much pull and how exciting this guy is and how well known he is to be able to have a night like that. Most likely going to throw out the first pitch as well. That's what they normally do if they're giving out the celebrity treatment like that. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. Maybe if my family wants to drag me to a Dodger game, that would be the one. I'm kind of surprised it's not against the Washington Nationals because he is from DC, but maybe they've already played in LA, so that game is already done. But either way, still a pretty good, cool thing. Definitely looking forward to seeing that in the near future. And then Bronny James recently released the number he's going to be wearing while playing at USC, at least for this season coming up. And of course, he's going to be wearing the same number as his father, number 6. It's not that surprising because I think he wore number 6 in high school as well as a senior recently. So it's just going to be pretty interesting to see two Jameses wearing number 6 at both USC and Lakers. So definitely looking forward to that. I want to get this name correct. Andy Stankiewicz, the USC baseball head coach, was recently named to the USA Baseball Collegiate National Team as an assistant coach. That's pretty cool. I think he's going to be a third base coach, so at least he's getting some recognition out there to be able to coach his country in at least one of the professional type of things other than, it's not the MLB players, but he's at least getting these players ready to join the main USA team. So that's pretty cool, especially because of how great of a season USC baseball just had as well. So it's nice for him, like I said, to get the recognition as well out there. And then, yes, I did mention that my sister gave me an Amazon gift card, which I was able to get like, what was it, 6 items total with that amount of money, which is pretty awesome. So thank you very much, Char. But only about 5 of those items have showed up because I kind of spaced it out, and one of the items was a pre-order, so that won't be here till like maybe early July, like July 3rd, something like that. So I wanted to kind of get these out of the way because these have been here the past couple of days. So there were some interesting Funko Pops, but they're more of like a holiday version. And whenever I've seen these priced around the holidays, it's always been way more than they honestly should be, and even for regular Pops as well. But I wanted to jump on these deals because they're basically all around $5, if not a little bit less than $5. So definitely had to jump on that. And it's the DC superheroes, so you get all these people. You got Aquaman as a gingerbread, you got Wonder Woman as a gingerbread. It's pretty cool. Most likely going to be displaying these during the holidays and taking them out of the box. The box isn't as cool to keep as some other ones that I have, so I'll just be displaying them throughout. Got the Flash as well, so I haven't seen that movie. Probably see it soon. Batman and Superman. Looks a little, probably stayed in the oven a little bit too long, but either way, still some pretty cool items. So yes, thank you to my sister Char and her significant other B, or Brian, whatever he wants to be called. And yes, I will be talking about and showing that other item, which I think is going to be pretty cool. My family is going to be pretty excited and think that item's going to be pretty cool, in my opinion. So yes, look forward to that. Yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day.